Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Movie Mornings. I'm your host, Dom Martino, and today we're going to do a very special episode where we're just talking about the most anticipated stuff upcoming in this year of 2022. I can't wait to get into all of it with everybody. But before we get started, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit the bell for notifications. Sitting with me today is actually not Mr. Jose Espinal. It's actually Mr. David Trash. David, how you doing?
I am doing excellent. I've spent a lot of time in the theater lately, and given about what we're going to talk about today, I'm excited to get back to it because there's a lot of great movies coming out this summer.
Absolutely, yeah. I just one of the most common questions I get asked is what are the hot movies coming out? It's funny because if I'm like with people that are outside of our circles, they ask that question because they honestly don't know. Like, yeah. I tell you Thor's coming in July, you're like, yeah, well, no shit. To anybody in our circles, they're like, yeah, no shit, that's happening. If I go outside of our circles, people actually don't know that there's a new Thor movie coming.
New Thor movie?
There's like, it's wild. Yeah, it's weird to me. It's a weird experience. I remember being in Ohio with some family members, and they were asking me, what's the new hot movie coming out? I said, well, Doctor Strange is coming out in a couple weeks. And they were like, there's a new Doctor Strange. People don't know outside of our circles. It's like, yeah, it's common knowledge to us.
And even outside of Marvel, I mean, that's one of the things I pride myself on is when my friends call me, my family calls me, my brother just called me the other day. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even tell you. The Northman is out in theaters, and it's kind of the most psychotic Viking movie I've ever seen in my life. And it's perfect for you. You need to go see it. Right. I know he won't go see any Marvel movies, so I'm like, that's perfect. Go watch this. It's worth it, and it's going to be worth every penny. It'll be one of the best movies you've ever seen in your life. And 90% of people just don't even realize it, and there's so many people that are like, oh, shit, dude, you specifically need to go see this movie.
100%. So, as I mentioned, Jose Espinal is out today. His PC broke on him, so he's getting a new PC over the weekend. I'm very excited for him. He's going to get it's going to be a beast of a machine compared to what he had.
Fujitsu.
I'm excited for whatever it's going to be. Like, I'm excited for him to upgrade. I'm just picturing, though, him plugging the thing in and it just fucking... Oh, that's Jose. There's Dave. Anyway, I picture this image of him just plugging the thing in. It just lights on fire. Like,
with his log, yeah, probably.
You know, I could see that Jose thing he does. I don't know if you've seen this face he does on this show. I've seen it multiple times. The one I go back to is always the Dear Evan Hansen review, because I know you've seen this where he comes in and he's got like this idea that he thinks is hot, and then it just gets shit all over and his smile just turns to a frown. He'll just be like, yeah, Dear Evan Hansen was great. No, was it? And it's just the funniest thing in the world to look at. And
he just he's kind of steeps in his depression of like so excited, and then he's just like,
yeah, it's the funniest thing to look at because it turns so quick. Yeah, I love it. But that Dear Evan Hansen one was probably the funniest to me upon rewatch. I felt very bad at the time. I was voicing my own opinion though. He was on with Sammy and myself. I don't even know if that's up on the channel. I don't even know if it made it to air, because that's about the time Sammy was leaving. I hope it made it to air. But I'll never forget.
I will go back and look for it. So
you try it. Yeah, maybe it's up there. I just remember talking to him. He saw Dear Evan Hansen. He loved it. And he was raving about it. I actually sent him to a press screening for that one. And he was raving about this damn thing. So he did at the time we were clipping out reviews from the show and putting them up on the channel. So he was raving about the damn thing. And he actually had me excited for it because I actually like musicals. I do. I like a good musical. And I was like, okay, if this musical can appeal to the likes of Jose Espinal, who's not a major musical guy, at least he wasn't at the time, then maybe this is something worth checking out. It's worth watching. Yeah. I watched that movie and I thought it was one of the biggest pieces of shit I've seen all year. And I voiced my opinion, and his smile, because he really thought I was about to like rave about it on the spoiler discussion,
Yeah.
and his smile went to a frown so fast when I said this movie sucked, and I
I
just
will
saw
say you have a
such
tendency
disappointment.
to like mislead with your words a little bit.
Yeah,
Like with Moon Knight, you with the first episode, I totally thought you were for it, and then you were like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Where did that come from? So
yeah. Well, that's the other thing we'll talk
yeah.
about at the end of the show. The finale we actually haven't discussed yet, so we'll
Oh
save
yeah,
that for the end of this episode here today. But yeah,
definitely.
it's I don't know. It's kind of my thing. I like to be misleading, sort of sometimes, because I feel like
You've
if I
caught me
give it
with it a good
all,
few times.
if I'm just like, yeah, I loved it, I feel like there's no more to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing I do and have been doing. Sammy and I used to do that all the time. I it comes from when we were doing the Anorax Entertainment podcast with Sammy and Cisco, which I talked to both of them recently. Both of them love Doctor Strange. And the three of us have never been on the same page with the Marvel movie, and we finally
So I
are.
am completely and utterly alone.
No, there's a lot of people with you out there, just not from the people I've talked to have pretty much all loved it. But that doesn't mean you're alone, because there's a lot of people I've spoken to. And I said as much when I got out of it. I said, yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. My friends love it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this Doctor Strange movie. There's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of people that aren't high on it like we are.
Which
I
is
knew
funny
it.
because a lot of people that don't like it, I find totally like for different reasons than me. I feel like I'm the only one that dislikes it for the reasons.
Yeah.
But then I don't like talking about it too much because when I start to give the reasons, there's a lot of yes men idiots that just want to hate on the movie. They're like, yeah, you're totally right. It's like, yeah, but if you didn't see that the first time you watched it, did you really hate that aspect of it?
Exactly.
If you're just getting it now that I'm telling you,
It's funny because I remember I was thinking about this today, actually. I remember when Star Wars fandom was in a very rough place. And I think we've come a long way in terms of talking to each other about these things. Like, I haven't seen as much like arguing about Doctor Strange, even though I know that there's people on both sides of it. It's a very divisive movie. But
yeah,
the funny part about it to me is when Star Wars was going through his rough patch, the Marvel fans were coming in like, Marvel would never do us this way. And WandaVision came out and it was very divisive. And
yeah.
here we are, Doctor Strange, very divisive. Moon Knight was pretty divisive. I've heard
A lot of
people
it's
on
been
both
pretty
sides of it.
decisive out of MCU to
Yeah,
Phase 4.
and
Yeah.
it cracks me up
I
because I
mean, me,
was
you, and
like,
Jose all disagree on the all the series and movies pretty much for what we like and don't like, other than No Way Home, I'd say.
well, I knew it was going to happen eventually, because you think about any movie company, whatever, any movie studio, if they want to stay relevant, especially if you're creating a shared universe, you're going to start taking swings and doing different things. I knew eventually there'd be
Risking it.
properties that were going to be divisive amongst fans.
Oh
And
yeah.
again, the fandoms, thank God, have gotten better about not being so ugly and hating each other and arguing on Twitter and shit. But on the other hand, it did happen. Marvel's not impervious to the vision. Phase 4
Yeah.
has been extremely divisive. It's maybe
Oh, yeah.
we're not hearing the people vocalize it the way we used to when Star Wars was in a rough place, but it's nobody's impervious to division. It's gonna happen, especially when you're trying to do new things, take bigger swings, try new things. It's not everybody's going to agree with
It's
it.
inevitable.
Yeah. It's the only way you're going to stay fresh or relevant is to try new things. You can't just, if they kept following the same formula, they're not going to stay relevant that way. You need to stay
Yeah.
relevant, and following the same formula is not going to, it'll keep you relevant with a certain niche, but eventually there's going to be other people that are going to get tired of it. Like, and I'm not just talking about with the Doctor Strange situation. Again, it goes back. You really liked WandaVision, you know? I'm not.
Yeah.
I love WandaVision, 95% of it. I there are things about the finale I didn't like, but 95% of it I liked. But there are a lot of people
that's
that
kinda where
really
I'm at.
dislike that show. They
Yep.
really think it sucks. They don't like the direction of the sitcom. They think that's stupid. There's a lot of people on that side of it too. Same thing with Moon Knight. I think we're pretty like-minded on Moon Knight. And for the most part. We'll talk about the finale. Yeah. I think for the most part, we've been pretty like-minded, with the exception of the pilot. It's a completely different direction, to the extent that a lot of people are not going to enjoy it. Like, it's so different. We can both admit it's different. It's not for everybody.
And that's one of the things I appreciate where they're going in phase 4 here is I'm willing to miss on some of these shows and movies for myself in order to get ones that I've loved more than anything.
Yeah.
Moon Knight is my absolute favorite Marvel show and Disney show, I'd say, even overall. I'm trying to think if there's any Disney shows. Was there any Star Wars Disney shows, or is Kenobi the first one? I'm missing something, obviously.
There's
Mandalorian.
Book of Boba Fett.
I'd say it's right up there for me. It's right on par with the Mandalorian. Definitely better than Book of Boba Fett. Definitely the best of Marvel so far. So it's like,
Moon Knight?
Something. Yeah, Moon Knight. And not only that, but that's the one that I actually, being a huge Moon Knight fan, I suspected I would probably hate the most, and they would butcher, despite even having like Oscar Isaac and everything on board. I thought they would butcher that one. I thought I'd really like Loki. I ended up not liking it so much, but there's a lot of people out there that love it for what it is.
I'm with you. I think
same with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought I was going to love that one, and I actually despise that one the most, pretty much.
I think I never really got on the hype train and arrived at Destination Loki like a lot of people did. Like,
yeah,
I enjoyed it. I think it's fun. I think it's got a lot of energy. There are aspects of it where they took really big swings that I was all about. I think the visuals are very good. I think it's well made.
Owen Wilson's amazing.
For the most part, Owen Wilson's incredible in it. And I think that the biggest weakness of that show was some of the plot holes. I think that there are plot elements in there that I didn't enjoy. But a lot of people think that's the greatest show Marvel's ever made. And I think a lot of that comes down to the familiarity of the character more than anything. It's not even so much.
It's funny because that's kind of one of my issues with it is that Loki is kind of uncharacteristically not like Loki in that show for me, but
sure. Yeah, I could see your point there for sure.
He loses a bit of his strength and brutality, I'd say. Obviously, he turned pretty good at the end there, but I feel like he's not very cunning throughout most of the show, which is kind of one of the best aspects of Loki. But
well, the bitch of it is you're not even really following our Loki. You're following a different Loki, which is going to, again, it adds to your point. It creates this sort of, I feel like, division for people too, because you're watching a different Loki, one that's a little bit more, it was kind of the same thing with Boba Fett. I don't want to say they made a mistake here, but what they did that I don't think they quite anticipated was when Mandalorian was coming out, and I just heard this through the grapevine, that powers that be over there didn't want them to do Boba Fett. They just really wanted to do Boba Fett. Favreau wanted to write a Boba Fett show when he was pursuing the Mandalorian. And the powers that be didn't think that Boba Fett would hit for whatever reason. And so they wrote Mandalorian. They gave him the characteristics that you would typically see with Boba Fett. So that's what came of Mandalorian, as opposed to, so now we got to write Boba Fett we want to write a Boba Fett show. But I think the problem that they ran into in doing so is that they realize we already have a similar looking character with similar skill sets to what people already expect.
Same armor,
from Boba Fett.
Same shindig, bounty hunter skills and all.
We need to find a way to distinguish the two better. So Boba Fett's characteristics were not what people were wanting. On my end of that, though, the thing that I would say to that is, well, you have a perfectly good Boba Fett show technically already with Mandalorian. You don't need Boba Fett because we have that already. So to me, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they make Boba Fett too similar to Mandalorian, then people are going to notice and they're going to be like, well, it's kind of hard to distinguish the two. So in turn, exactly, yes, they damned if you do, damned if you don't with the Boba Fett thing.
Yeah, and you're going to make people upset.
100%. And I just don't think people realize. I don't love the Boba Fett show. I have issues with it. Again, I don't think I don't think it's fantastic. I think it's very good. I don't think it's
I was gonna say I think it's good. I think it was a great watch. I'm happy that I had it. I'd rather have that season than not.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's I agree with that statement because it really did connect things a little better, I guess, for me. Like in terms of, well, first of all, you got I enjoyed a lot of the backstory in terms of like
Yeah.
how Boba Fett got out of the pit. I thought that stuff, it looked amazing. It played amazing. I'm
Oh
going to
yeah.
try to move this without cutting out here. Am I good still? Am I still
Yep.
here?
You're still
Okay.
good.
All right.
Perfect.
So a lot of that stuff played incredibly well with Boba Fett. I love the
Yeah.
shot of him getting out of the Starlight Pit. Like that's one of my favorite shots in all
Oh
Star Wars.
yeah. I mean, just those shots alone. If that was just the straight up preview to anyone watching the show, or you want to show that to a friend, they would watch this show undoubtedly and think it's the greatest show ever. Probably just on those shots.
It's very good in my opinion, but there are issues. There are things that fell short. I'm not trying to deny that. I don't think I think a couple of their director choices weren't the best. Actually, funny enough, it's weird to say because it's one of my favorite episodes of Mandalorian season 2 was Robert Rodriguez's episode, but some of his episodes fell short in this series. Like, that's the ironic thing, and he's such a talented director that it baffles me when I'm watching that Boba Fett finale and you got action that's so short-sighted compared to what it could be and compared to what I know Robert Rodriguez is capable of shooting within his action sequences. It's so strange to me, but I haven't revisited it in a while. I think in a binge it might play better. I'm not sure, but that might be the trick.
I will say the townspeople, the action with the townspeople didn't play the way that I remember. Did not go well. Their whole like final stand thing and trying to fight off, it was just like did not come off as well in the rewatch. Yeah,
it's not the best. I will say I started to enjoy a couple of those characters a little bit more, but in terms of the action itself, you're right. It really was so short-sighted as opposed to what we could have had.
It looks like what I would look like if I was in Star Wars,
100%.
trying to look cool, but really not coming off that way. Like,
100%. You look at exactly, it's so true. But you look at Mandalorian, like the Mandalorian series, all the action in there is so well done. Intense, it's so well calculated. It feels good when you're watching it. It feels really good.
Every move feels like it was well thought out. Yeah. Like they gave it a day.
So I understand when people watch Boba Fett and say this was really made by the same team that did Mandalorian. It's very ironic. I do get that complaint a lot, but what I don't agree with is just the characteristics of Boba Fett being bad. I think that they needed to do that to distinguish it because we already have this super badass Mandalorian. You want that the version of Boba Fett that you want already exists in the Mandalorian character. And you don't need it. You don't.
I think it's a logical place to go where it's like he's already been a badass. Okay, he doesn't need to flex his badassery.
No,
just the fact that Boba Fett is alive is like a mind-baffling thing for the people in the universe that know his name and are like, "Oh fuck, you're alive!" Like he doesn't need to show off anymore. People know what's up. People know who he is, and you know that's one of my favorite aspects of the show is seeing like an older near retirement Boba Fett just be like, "I still got it, motherfuckers. Try me." That's. But again, his dropping of allegiance to any sort of bounty hunter syndicate or anything like that, and when he picks up the Wookiee Black Chrysanthemum, that was another one that's like, take it from me, man. You don't want to be working for shady people that are going to screw you over. You'll end up in a Sarlacc pit.
but I take this back to what Marvel did with Loki. It's similar to a degree, in my opinion, because it is a different Loki. They took him down a different path than a lot of people probably wanted him to go down. Even though a lot of people love the show, it's a lot of people's favorite, and it's not mine by any means. But they did take him down a different path, and I get the division. I do. I'm not trying to sit here and say I don't understand the sort of division on his characteristics or things like that. That didn't play in Loki. I definitely do. But it is a different Loki, and if you want to see Loki being awesome, we have that. It's there. It exists. It's there for you. It's just it's different, and not,
it's not like it never happens.
It's not gonna be for everybody. I understand that 100%. I do love what it did for Kang the Conqueror, though. I think that
the setup for the show is excellent in that regard. I mean, what it did for setting up Kang is going to be excellent to see how it plays out from here.
That's going to be fun. I think they casted that right. I would just put it
Yeah.
that way. The performance was very good, and they
Oh,
casted that right. Yeah.
for somebody who was expecting a lot of action in that last episode and was kind of upset that it was a speaking match, so to say. I was at least, yeah, I was really happy with that casting, at least because King really brought together that whole final episode where I was like, okay, I'm not totally disappointed here. I mean, King the Conqueror's here, man. That's
I will say,
said.
I'm tired personally, and I think the guy's a phenomenal actor, so I'm not saying I'm tired of him. I'm tired of seeing Richard E. Grant being cast in things and being very short-sighted too. If you haven't seen the movie Can You Ever Forgive Me, he's so good in that movie. I think he got nominated for it. He probably should have won for that. He was so good in that movie. And that movie is fantastic. Him and it's the best. That movie's the best I've ever seen Melissa McCarthy act, by the way. I really enjoyed her in that movie as well. Anyway, those two together had great chemistry, and he made a lot of that movie. But he got cast in Loki, he got cast in Rise of Skywalker, and they do like almost nothing with him. It's so weird to me. You got this. He is such a good performer. There's so much more that he can do. And so if he wants to take those jobs where he doesn't have a lot to do, that's on Richard E. Grant. I'm not trying to put that in the studio.
That's on him.
If you can get him. But on the same hand, it's like, man, you got this very talented actor. And I remember episode 5 where he opened up the portal to where they were going to go see Kang and all that shit. I was like, that's all he's going to do, though? Like, he had a couple lines that were good. And it's not that he was bad in the show. It's just, I know that actor is so good, man. And he could do so much more.
Yeah, it's like, it's really going to stop here with him?
Yeah. and in Rise of Skywalker, his role was ridiculous. That role he had in Rise of Skywalker where he was just, he was Tarkin 2.0. And they did nothing with it. Because Peter
didn't
Cushing,
leave anywhere, not really any build up.
Peter Cushing as Tarkin, they gave him a performance in The New Hope. You know, he is a performer.
Oh, yeah.
He's amazing in The New Hope. And you got Richard E. Grant playing Tarkin 2.0, and he does almost nothing in that movie.
He has shouting lines in between scenes here, just commanding everybody.
Yeah, it's just, if you're going to play into that nostalgia factor, go all the way, man. They just didn't in that for me, at least with him. And yeah, there's a lot of things about Rise of Skywalker I love.
I will say, little side note, by the way, because someone just pointed out yesterday, Tarkin's the way that Tarkin speaks in A New Hope, if you go back and watch, do you know whose performance it is like scarily similar to in the most amazing way?
Not Richard E. Grant.
Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones.
That's very true. I could see
he is very like his very harsh, straightforward, strict commanderness. Somebody told me that the other day, and I was like, I don't believe it. And then I went back and saw scenes of both of them just talking at like the round tables. I'm like, holy shit, that is like such a stellar performance, like stone cold serial killer just telling you the straight facts face. I'm like,
that's true. Well, Charles,
only few people could pull that off.
Charles Dance is awesome too. I even loved him in that Godzilla movie he was in. Which one was he in? Was it the second one?
Was it one of the new ones?
Yeah, it was King of the Monsters. I think he was in.
Okay, King of Monsters.
It was good though.
I'm not much for King Kong and Godzilla there.
Fair enough. He's great in that movie though, and that's an example of, even though there are criticisms on that movie that are very valid, that's an example of taking a really good actor and giving him something to do and giving him, performances. Even though he's small in the movie, he still makes an impact. I remember seeing him in that and being like, oh wow, they actually gave Charles Dance like lines like to deliver that were strong and hard hitting. And Richard E. Grant, nothing. He's one of these guys, he keeps popping up and stuff, and they never give him anything to do. It irritates me. That's a tangent, but I think so far it's really difficult for me. I think about, so like Falcon Winter Soldier, I did not like the pilot. I didn't think the pilot was very good at all. I thought it had a couple compelling elements in terms of like Bucky's story and stuff. But I thought, again, speaking of being short-sighted, the action in the first 2 episodes was so short-sighted in Falcon Winter Soldier, and it didn't really get good for me until you saw Sharon Carter kicking ass in that 3rd episode, and it was like, oh, these guys they actually know what they're doing behind the camera. That was finally some evidence of that. And then the finale, while I get, is slightly underwhelming. I'm sorry, it's slightly an underwhelming finale.
Yeah.
But I felt like at least with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was definitely the most complete of the shows. Like I felt like from beginning to end, it had its plan. It did what it did in terms of that. Like it did feel complete as a show for me. And then Hawkeye, I had a blast with. I know a lot of people get it's corny, cheesy, whatever. I get it. It is. But I look at it as like a Chris. If you compare it to like other Christmas like movies and stuff, it's a really high budget Christmas movie when you just look at it that way. And
that is a good point.
It's impressive on that level. If you just look at it as like a really high budget Christmas movie, it's impressive.
I never even thought of it that way, but yeah, it's pretty true. Yeah, and I didn't even much care for Hawkeye. I mean, but that's the one thing I will say is like, I didn't think it was the greatest show of them by any standard, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to see a little bit more of Hawkeye himself kicking some absolute ass, but
I know that was the big
that aside,
complaint.
it was still tons of fun.
Yeah. Well, I think they set up Kate very well in the show. Like, yes, there's
sure.
definitely something to be said about should it have been called Hawkeye or Kate Bishop? Like, what should the show have been titled? There's something to be said about that, and there's a very valid point in there. I'm not gonna disagree with that. I think it just set up Kate so well. I'm excited for the future of Kate Bishop. I know that they're not gonna do a Hawkeye season 2, and that's fine. But I'm excited for the future of what they've set up, I suppose. And I mean, we did get Kingpin in there. I know that's another complaint. Like from some people, didn't feel like it was really Kingpin, like it wasn't the one from Daredevil. But
I was going to say a lot of the
him.
Daredevil fans weren't a big fan of Kingpin in that one.
Yeah, but I loved watching him. I love seeing him back. I thought that Vincent D'Onofrio, Vincent D'Onofrio. I think he's a very talented actor, and he clearly
Full Metal Jacket guy. That's what I remember.
There you go. Yeah, he's
Full
right.
Metal Jacket.
Man,
so many years ago.
Yeah, you take me way back there. I haven't seen that movie in ages. It's so good, but yeah, I forgot that his role in that is so dark.
Yeah, it's really fucking dark.
So dark. A lot of people, I was having a debate the other day with somebody. They just don't understand. A lot of people don't understand Stanley Kubrick's style and what makes that movie so good. There's a lot of elements that make that movie amazing, but like for me, I don't know where you stand on Kubrick as a whole, but like I put The Shining in my top 5 probably favorite movies of all time. Personally, I just think it's perfect.
The Shining isn't in my top 5 just for stylistic reasons, but I absolutely fucking love The Shining.
That's fair.
Without a doubt.
That's
fair.
That's
like, without a doubt, The Shining is an absolute classic. That's one of those where you said you haven't seen The Shining and you say you're like a movie fan.
Yeah.
I just stare at you kind of sideways. I'm like, well, sit the fuck down and let's get this over with.
Yeah.
Then.
He had this way about him, Kubrick, where he would make movies and a lot of people just didn't get it because of I think that still lingers for a lot of people where they just don't understand the nuance of it, where it's the performances are done in such a way where they're all supposed to kind of fit his sort of idea of a universe. So you're not going to get traditional performances. They're not supposed to be either. So,
not by any standard.
But they're not bad because they're all kind of formed to fit his way of what he considers a universe. Like, A Clockwork Orange is fucking bonkers, but I love it. Yeah. I can watch that movie over and over. Like, it's that good to me. It's a cartoon come to life. A lot of people don't get that. Like,
that's one I really need to rewatch because that's my fiance. Got it right there. That is my fiance's absolute favorite book.
A Clockwork Orange.
So and I haven't seen it since I was like 13. And I remember I really enjoyed it, but I need to go back and rewatch it because she refuses to watch it because she watched it and didn't like the ending because the book ending is really good.
Yeah.
And the movie ending is not that great, to be fair, compared to the book ending. And it's a weird thing to do because the book ending was just so fulfilling. But yeah, that's definitely one I got to rewatch. So thank you for reminding me.
Well, Kubrick did that even with The Shining. Like, the book fans were not thrilled with the movie at first. I think it's been reappraised by a lot of people as the years have gone by. It's the same with Tarantino's. He did one based on a book. It was Jackie Brown. A lot of people were like, "This is not the book." Well, it is the book. It's just the book made to fit Tarantino's universe. The same with Kubrick with Clockwork Orange and Shining. He makes these he reforms them to fit in his world or what his idea of a world is. When you watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, you know you're diving into Quentin's world. You're not, you're not diving into what anything traditional here. It's his idea of what the world is. It's
Yeah.
different. It's a different thing. And that's what Kubrick was doing, I feel, a long time before Tarantino. And like the other one was 2001 A Space Odyssey. I watched that movie. I feel like I'm hypnotized. And I hated
Yeah.
myself for watching it the first time I watched it. Because when I'm first watching it, I'm like, this is one of the most fucking dry ass, boring ass things I've ever seen. Then it ends, and 2 weeks go by, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, what am I thinking about here? Why do I keep going back to it? And I rewatch it, and it's a masterpiece. He has that strange thing to his style that I don't think has quite been replicated. Like it just makes him very individualistic. And the one that was really fucked up out of his filmography, and I've seen a handful of them, but the one that was really fucked up was Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Have you seen that?
Oh no, I haven't.
So it's one of his last movies that he's ever made. And I'm going to tell you, it's a
When did it come out?
It's, oh man,
Ballpark,
90s?
90s.
I would ballpark the 90s if I had a ballpark,
Wow.
like early 90s.
That's actual Tom Cruise before his brainwashed by Scientology. Holy shit, that's
we're talking one of his last projects, like Kubrick's last projects. And he fucking, it's a total sex movie. That's the movie. It's a sex movie. It is. But
okay,
it's so
generally
good.
not something I watch, so it makes sense. But I'll give it a shot.
No, it's good though, man. Like, I think for me, watching that movie, it again, it just, everything is formed to his world. It's got, it's not as good as The Shining, but it's got that brilliant sort of, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It's got the atmosphere of The Shining. It's in there. It's all there. It's a sex movie in the sense that, like, I'm not saying like it's a sex movie in terms of people are having sex all the time. That's not the way it is. There is sex in it, but it's not like people are having sex all the time. Actually, there's barely any sex in it, but sex is a big theme of it.
I watched Crazy Stupid Love the other night because somebody told me to watch it, and God, was that a mistake? But
you didn't like that movie? I love Crazy Stupid Love.
I thought that there was scenes that I thought were absolutely hilarious because Steve Carell is just amazing. But overall, as a movie, I was like,
"Oh man,
am I watching this right now?"
I think the writing is so solid. I really do.
I will say I wasn't a crazy fan of Ryan Gosling going into the movie, and that movie did make me appreciate Ryan Gosling more.
Oh, Gosling's awesome. He's one of my favorite actors.
I've only seen him in very few things. That's one of the first things I've seen him in, and I've been like, man, I really enjoyed him in that. But overall, it's just, again, a movie where sex is a theme I don't really care for, but it still had some of the best humor with Steve Carell. The one scene that was absolutely killing me, and I think it was one of those I paused because I was dying laughing, was the one guy was like, hey man, so what, so and so heard you crying in the stall in the bathroom. I was like, oh yeah, my wife broke up with me. He's like, oh, thank God, we thought you had cancer.
Oh, that's right.
He's like, Steve Carell goes, oh no, just my relationship.
They're all stoked. They're all stoked for him because they thought he had cancer. That is
like,
a great scene.
hey, he's getting divorced, and everyone's clapping for him, and he's like, thanks guys. I was like, that's such a classic Steve Carell performance out of that scene. It was excellent.
I do love that movie. I think as far as like recent comedies go, like, that's one I definitely love. Gosling is an interesting guy to me because he could be playing a superhero right now, and he chose not to. Like, if he really wanted to, he'd be in the MCU. He's not going to be.
The Boys.
He could. If he shows up anywhere, it would be The Boys. I promise you. He could be one of these Marvel guys, or he probably really could have been like Captain America or something if he wanted to be. He's got the chops. But he chose not to, and to me, that's what makes his career so interesting. Because, and if not a superhero, he could have been doing rom-coms for the rest of his life, and he chose not to do that either. He really kind of has done he's done a crazy career path. Like, he went from like The Notebook, and then I think he was in some type of like murder mystery thriller that might not have been well received, but it was just such a weird like turn for him to do. And then the first time I started to really, not that I think The Notebook is shit, but like the first time I really started to take notice of him was definitely, I would have to say it was Drive. When I saw Drive, I was like, this is the most bonkers shit I've ever seen. And everybody thought that movie was going to be like this Fast and Furious type movie. Like, that's the marketing. It was marketed as that. And I watched Drive and I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is a fucking masterpiece. And his subtlety and his performance was so like, man, like kind of what would you say, like spine tingling, I would think. Like he's got this way about it. Have you seen Drive? It's
No, that's why I'm listening into this, because I'll have to watch it now. That
Drive,
because I really enjoyed Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love. Like, I did not care much for him in the few performances I've seen him in, The Notebook being one, La La Land being another, which I know a lot of people like, but obviously it's not my movie, so I'm not going to enjoy it, obviously.
I would say Drive.
He didn't exactly shine for me, but yeah, I'll give Shine a shot. I need to watch what's the other one here? Nocturnal Animals?
That's with Jake Gyllenhaal, right? That's a good movie.
Yeah, I turned it off for a while because in the previews it only shows me like a scene of. I go off of the previews on Netflix for like ever, always. Like, I judge a movie off the preview, and that's why I recently watched The Imitation Game finally, which I absolutely loved actually. Is because I had a really good preview, but that preview I think it only shows. I think his co-star is Amy Adams, and I think it's Amy Adams, but
yes, it is.
Okay, she's wearing a lot of makeup, so it's hard to tell. But I like Amy Adams a lot. It was just like the scene that they let you preview was kind of boring to me, and I didn't care for it. It was very artistic and trendy looking scene. So I figured that like set the mood for the whole movie for me. I was like, this seems kind of stupid, even though I love Jake Gyllenhaal more than anything. I'm not gonna watch it yet. Yeah, I'm gonna. That one's tonight.
It's a really good. It's a script I think you'll really love. Because you like Prisoners. I think you'll like Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah. I literally know nothing about the movie except for that short preview I watched, and then someone told me to give it a shot. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll give it a shot tonight.
It's in that sort
I love Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. I said on the show not long ago that one of my rules is there's certain actors where if they're in the movie, I have to go see it, and Jake Gyllenhaal is one of those people. So it's kind of shitty for me to just turn it away for a preview. So I got to commit.
It's in that sort of range of like Batman and Prisoners and those types of movies.
Okay, cool.
So you will like it. It's not as detective-y, I would say, but it's got that element of the darkness. It's a good watch. It's very solid. Drive, though. So the premise, I won't give anything away, but I do want you to watch this one because Drive is Ryan Gosling is a wheelman. And he's like you'll see him throughout the movie. He does jobs for criminals, like, so he's a getaway driver if they want to hire him for that. But he also does he's got a professional life he tries to balance too. So he's like a stunt man for movies and stuff too. So you'll see like kind of both sides of it, to where he's kind of, but he's a very he doesn't have a lot of lines in the movie, which makes the performance so brilliant for me because it's so different from his typical outgoing, very talkative
style.
And so that's where this movie to me becomes very impressive. And he works for I think it's he looks at him like a father figure, but he's kind of like his agent in the sense that he kind of gets him the jobs. Bryan Cranston is in the movie. And
okay, sold. That's it.
And so he meets like Carey Mulligan. This is where I'll stop it, kind of, but just to get you even more sold. He's Carey Mulligan, who's also really good in the movie, who has this kid, and her husband's locked up in jail, and you don't really know why or anything that he's involved in, but the husband is actually Oscar Isaac, so he comes back home. And
the fuck?
Yeah, it's a great fucking cast.
I'm sold. I'm sold on that premise.
He comes back home, things get messy. Oh man, this was 2009, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But so yeah, this movie was it did terrible in the box office because everybody, the stupid studio marketed it as a Fast and Furious movie.
And you know me, I will never judge a movie by the box office. Yeah. Because, Avatar's #1 top grossing. So why the fuck would I trust that metric?
Talk about that a little later. But yeah. So, but yeah, man, it was marketed as this Fast and Furious type movie, and it's not that movie. And
gotcha.
Even I will say this: the first half, if you're still Rocky,
where it's streaming.
If you're still rocky in the first half of the movie, just wait because
Stick with it. Okay.
yeah,
I got you.
because it is all leading to something. Sometimes the movie, and I'm not saying this is a flaw, reappraising it, this is what makes it a masterpiece. Sometimes the movie seems so reserved that you can feel like it might not be going anywhere. But once you see where it's all going and what it all leads to, it's a mind-blowing pick. I think you'll really like it. It's very stylistic, but it's also just, I really appreciate the work of like the car chases and stuff like that in there too. Like it's not done like any other like car movie or anything. So it's very different. And it's got a lot of 80s vibes.
Netflix there. If not, I'll just straight up rent it.
Find it. I'm telling you, Drive to me is like that is I
have a lot of Google credit, so I mean I'll watch it for sure. I pay all my bills through the Google Pay, and then that's how I pay for my movie rental. So I'll find a way.
He's in this other one too. It's like The Ides of March, which isn't a bad little movie with George Clooney. It's Ryan Gosling and George Clooney. I think it came out the same year as Drive. Yeah.
Is it about Julius Caesar, Ides of March?
No.
Oh, that's my birthday, is Ides of March.
But it's
March 15th.
Oh yeah. But it's a theme that pops up, I guess I should say. But it's really good. It's more of a political flick, but him and George Clooney get involved in politics, and there's a twist there I'm not going to talk about, but it's a really good little film. And then the other one, I tell everybody to watch The Big Short. I think The Big Short that's another Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling pairing up joint. Steve Carell plays a completely different role than you've probably ever seen him do in that, but Ryan Gosling is like, he's pretty much his character in Crazy Stupid Love, but he's used differently, I would say. But he's really good in that movie. I always recommend The Big Short for sure to everybody. So that's another good Gosling one. But yeah, we've been ranting and raving about movies all day, which is what the show's all about. So
it's what we do.
What we do, exactly. But look, we got a lot of other stuff coming up in 2022. I know Doctor Strange just came about, and you might be going, well, what do I watch now? A lot of things to be excited about. So I watched the trailer and I actually filmed the reaction for it. I got to throw it up on the channel. Don't Worry, Darling was one that I talked about coming out of CinemaCon. This is Olivia Wilde's second directorial debut. And I'm looking forward to this one, man. I think that this became like one of my most anticipated. Olivia Wilde's second directorial debut. It stars Florence Pugh. It's got Chris Pine, who I love in movies. I think Chris Pine is just so charismatically good, but he's also going to be playing kind of like a darker role here. So I'm very much looking forward to that. He's the
worst of the Chris's. The lesser Chris, if you will.
He might be. But
I'm sure he's a great guy in real life. I mean, no shade to him, but I'm just saying, like Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, come on now. That's
Hemsworth. You got Hemsworth.
Yeah, Hemsworth. Yeah, he's a third.
Anyway, I like Chris Pine. I'm really looking forward to the dynamic that he plays. And I know Jose's least favorite person is Harry Styles, but he's also in the film, and he looks like he's going to do a good job, man. I'm excited.
He hates Harry Styles.
I don't know what his vendetta is against Harry Styles. Harry Styles.
Dude, One Direction is the shit.
One Direction is fun, but Harry Styles' solo music is some of the most innovative from any mainstream pop star I've ever heard. It's wildly good. It's like the guy uses real instruments in all of his records. Like that's awesome to me that he requests every instrument has to be real. It's got to be good. Yeah. So anyway, that's my take.
Most aren't these days.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. It's the truth. I love this trailer though. The trailer just got me boosted, and I'm so stoked for this one. So is there one that you wanted to throw out maybe from 2022 that you have that's upcoming that you think is going to be the shit?
Well, I will say, as Dom's segue went, if you're wondering what to watch in theaters now that Doctor Strange is gone, before I go to the one that I'm looking forward to coming out, I would like to reemphasize that The Northman is one that's out right now. It's the only one out of the past 15 movies in theaters that I've seen that's broken my scale and gone over a 10 rating for me. If you want something super graphic, super gory, super action filled, and just fucking pure Vikingness, go watch it.
I'm a big Robert Eggers fan. I can't wait to see that one. I think he's made some incredible films in his career, but yeah.
Yeah, otherwise for anticipated movies, man, I made a whole list here that I got. First of all, I mean, DC League of Super Pets, dude. Are we just not gonna?
We're starting there.
No, I'm screwing with you guys.
If you want to see it, that's all good, man.
I am. I think it'll legitimately be a great movie. But
all right.
The one I'm most looking forward to, of course, is The Black Phone. And that's one that I'm hoping will be a haunted house out here in Florida. Blumhouse has their own house secured, I know. And that's like their newest thing coming out. That's like coming to the forefront. There's one other Blumhouse movie that it may share with it. But The Black Phone, for me, Ethan Hawke and his short-lived performance in The Northman absolutely killed it. And I mean, after we talked about the CinemaCon and how everyone was so terrified, I'm really excited. I went back and rewatched the trailer on my boss's huge like 86-inch screen TV with surround sound, and just like watching the trailer again and having Ethan Hawke be like, "Get off the phone," is like, holy shit, what the fuck, dude? That is creepy. Yeah. I mean, it is such a creepy looking movie. I cannot wait.
Yeah, Scott Derrickson's never let me down as a filmmaker between Exorcism of Emily Rose, Doctor Strange, and Sinister, and oh god, what was the one he did after Sinister? Deliver Us from Evil was very underrated. I thought that was a very good flick. Pretty creepy as well. So I would say yes, Black Phone's on mine too. Yeah, I can't wait. I think Blumhouse has been doing just a really good job at making these very smaller budget movies.
They're popping off here.
Jason Blum just reaches into his old pocket there and says, "Hey, got a couple bucks here. What can I make with this?" You know, it's
let's see what we can do here.
It's awesome. And they make good returns off of it. So Black Phone, I'm all for, man. And you're right, Ethan Hawke is coming back. We're kind of in this renaissance with Ethan Hawke. Him saying that he didn't like comic book movies back in the day or something, whatever he said, was kind of a mistake, because him being in a comic book property has definitely boosted him back. And I've always believed he was one of the best. And so seeing him again back in things has been fun. So.
Oh, yeah. And the other one I will definitely say, which I'll be actually flying up to Chicago. I know my mom doesn't watch this podcast, so I'll just say it. I'm going to fly up to Chicago. My mom's favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. And I can't wait for this new Jurassic World movie. Second Jurassic Park movie and second Jurassic World movie are kind of disappointing. I actually enjoyed Jurassic Park 3. Most people hate it. I think there's stupid stuff in there, but that's what I enjoy. Like, I don't, comparing it to the first one and thinking it's that good, of course not. But the third Jurassic Park movie, I just think has some stupid shit in there that's funny with how stupid it is. So I enjoy it myself.
The one scene I do like in that movie, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because it's so on par with the rest of the stupidity, is the Barney the dinosaur scene. It's my favorite scene in the movie.
That's not the one I was thinking of, but I love it. That's the one I was thinking of was the fucking when the raptors like pretending to be in the fucking liquid. And he's just like, "Ha, gotcha, motherfucker!" And he comes at him, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah,
there's some ridiculous things in that movie, but I will say, I don't like Jurassic Park 3. I think it's a better movie than Fallen Kingdom. I thought Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was one of the biggest pieces of garbage I saw. Ever.
Yeah, which, to be fair, it's just such a poorly written movie. Yeah, I think Chris Pratt and Bryce
Dallas Howard is very good.
Yeah. I think they both kill it performance wise. I just think that they were given an absolute shit movie, and just Jurassic World is not a movie to stay on one set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that whole thing is just filmed around the compound.
And a lot of it
feels so restrictive. Yeah, like the entirety of the movie.
And I really like the first
on
Jurassic
that tight
World.
Compound.
I think Jurassic World is good.
Jurassic World, I absolutely love. I mean, it reinvigorated my love for the franchise again. Movie. And I'm slipping on the actor's name, but I love the tie-in to let you know that the Jurassic Park world is in this world and it's connected. But the guy with the glasses in the control room, Goldblum. He was a new girl, huh?
Oh no, you're not talking about Goldblum, because
no,
Goldblum
Jurassic, yeah. I know Goldblum. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
In the first Jurassic World, the guy with the glasses, he's a new girl. I actually really like him in his performances. I see him in, and he kind of is a huge Jurassic Park fan. And he's like, I think it's Bryce that's like, you know that like hundreds of people died, right? And it's like, but I still love it. You know, Good times. But yeah, I think the third one's going to tie it
I hope
together
so.
really good. And just from the trailer, I have a great amount of confidence in this, tying in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World for one epic freaking finale. And
Well,
I'm in it.
I have faith in Trevorrow, and based on reading his original idea for Star Wars Episode 9, the guy he's a great closer. He knows how to make a good finale based on that script. And I also think that I really hope that this is the one, because none of them have given me the feel of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is a fucking masterpiece, and none of them have quite reached that level. And I'm not saying this will, but I need that Spielberg feel back a lot. From that first Jurassic
Park. Some of the, for me in the first one, it's two things. One is like the whimsy that Spielberg always brings to things of like, welcome to Jurassic Park, which is just so like excellent just to see the set, everything going perfect, so smooth, the actors' reactions, like he just captures that better than anyone else. But also I do miss kind of like the shit my pantsness of like when they first encountered the T-Rex. And it's like, well, I went back and rewatched that, with my girlfriend. Obviously, it's why I ended up proposing to her there, is because she liked Jurassic Park so much. And it was like, man, rewatching that again, and then seeing the guy in the bathroom, and then Jeff run out,
to
distract and save the kids, dude. I was like, holy shit, dude, my skin is crawling right now. I got chills.
There's a level of suspense to that first Jurassic Park that I think that has only since been captured in A Quiet Place. Like, it hasn't. That's
really good line to draw.
Because honestly, the way that you felt when you saw the dinosaurs in that is the way you feel when you see the monsters in A Quiet Place. Because he did such a good job. The first half of Jurassic Park, it's all about building the characters, building the atmosphere, making you feel like you're a part of it. And then when the dinosaurs really come, it's suspenseful, it's scary. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. So I'm hoping Trevorrow can bring that back as well. That suspense level, that, frightening feeling that you have when you're frightened for the characters, and you need that back. These movies have been kind of missing that. I really like Jurassic World. Think it's the best since Jurassic Park, but it's also it's an action movie. It's an action adventure movie. And I want this to go back to the, Spielberg was set out to make kind of a horror film in that first one. I want that to go back. So I want this to go back.
Which I will say from the trailer, I mean, there's some pretty rough shit in that trailer. I mean, there's a scene of Chris Pratt just sitting there holding a knife. Obviously, there's no dinosaur you should try to fight with a knife. So that's going to be a rough situation he's in, as well as I will say the shot of the, I'm going to call it the big alligator dinosaur motherfucker, just absolutely taking down the fishing boat was like, fuck, man. And the dialogue over it too, like, we were just not meant to live amongst dinosaurs. And it's like, I see that. I see that from this trailer right now. So I'd say the Black Phone and Dominion for me are just the two that, from watching the trailer, I don't see how they fuck this up. So fingers crossed. Those are my two favorite, most anticipated movies for the upcoming year. I'm going to scroll down the list just to double check and make sure. Oh, and of course, the last one. Obviously, there's a lot of these DC Marvel movies that are coming up. We all know that we're both anticipating those. But outside of that world, Halloween will finally end this year as well, which will be quite amazing. So that's another one up there with it. I don't think that could fuck up. I think I'm going to be very pleased with this closing of the chapter on this one.
Yeah, I know that you and I and Jose are three of the few fans of Halloween Kills. We all three thought that movie was great, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I think that, oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Pineapple Express guy that directed Pineapple Express.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that from me. So
David Gordon Green. David Gordon Green has done a great job with these Halloween movies. One out. Yeah, he's done a great job with these Halloween movies, I think, and I think he has a very clear-cut plan. And I'm hoping that it's a case of people see this one and appreciate the second one more. Maybe not, but I think that Halloween Ends is going to be really, really damn good, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, you're right, though. We do have the comic book world, and again, like I said, people don't know, but Thor: Love and Thunder looks good, man. I think the teaser's good. I saw it in IMAX for the first time with Doctor Strange. I think it plays really nicely. I'm not a big Ragnarok guy, but I think this movie looks fantastic. I'm still very excited about this movie. I think it's going to be really something special. I have this really good feeling about it because I know Taika Waititi is a very capable filmmaker. I'm a fan of everything else he's done. I don't think Ragnarok sucks. I just, probably more like you are on Doctor Strange. But Taika's a very good filmmaker, very capable. I love Jojo Rabbit and Hunt for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows. I think
Ragnarok.
yeah. What's that?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Ragnarok.
Oh, I know you did. Yeah.
Yeah. I still like the original Thor movie a lot, though. A lot of people shit on it. I really appreciate the first
it's
Thor
underrated
movie a lot. I think it's super underrated. I still love that probably more than Ragnarok.
I do too.
I enjoyed Ragnarok a lot, especially because, when everyone goes around telling me about Tiki Waititi, as I used to call him, Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Respect on his name now. I was like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. This movie looks really wacky. I'm probably not going to enjoy this at all. So I had a lot of fun with the movie.
Yeah,
but I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about this yet. I don't think it'll disappoint me. It's just that I don't know who a villain is. And so I'm like dumbfounded as,
Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher.
That I was plugging my ears.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Christian Bale, man.
Oh, Christian Bale?
Yeah.
He got casted?
He's the villain, yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind you spoiling it, but I purposely try to keep myself completely in the dark.
Out. Yeah,
that's it's good to tell you now, though, when I go into movies, I've started to only go off the trailer.
Fair enough.
So I only watch the trailer from now on. I don't look at the castings or nothing else. But you're good if you spoil things. I'm not going to be upset about it.
Well, the only reason I bring that up though is because Taika. This is kind of a piece of news we can talk about in a sense. Recently, is on record saying he thinks that he has one of the best Marvel villains out there. So shit. I'm interested.
I'm pumped for it. Yeah, that being said, I think I said before, I was looking for more of a Home Sweet Home vibe over Oh Sweet Child of Mine. But I love the trailer. I like that Korg is still in this thing because I think Korg is the greatest comedic relief in all of Marvel, and I don't know why he's not in everything. I like the trailer a lot. And unbeknownst to me, I actually goddamn it, I like the first look at Jane Foster. Yeah, I didn't think I would say that. I'm not a big Natalie Portman fan in the Thor world, but shit, she suited up well, man.
I like the way that Branagh used her in the first film. I think that Alan Taylor, Bill
Hader, what?
Alan Taylor definitely didn't use her properly in the Dark World. I think a lot of things were done wrong in the Dark World.
I was gonna say, I think there was a hell of a lot more wrong.
That's a rough movie anyway,
but
look, I think that's part of the reason this whole thing came about with her and Kat Dennings' character, who came back around for me in WandaVision.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our WandaVision in the end.
I think that but the way that they were using Dark World put the stigma behind them, and I think that Taika's going to bring a new energy because Natalie Portman is a very talented actress. I think that
motherfucking Padme, bro.
Exactly. I think that's.
You watch your fucking mouth, Dom. Don't you dare say shit about Padme.
I like Padme as a character. I love Padme as a character. No, don't get me wrong.
That's what I thought.
I love Padme as a character. I think that Taika needs to really look at the cast that he has, and I think he will. I think he'll utilize them well. I have faith. I know he's so capable. I'm a huge fan of the guy. Even though I'm not huge on Ragnarok, I have faith that he'll do something really cool here. And I almost suspect that by the time I'm done with this one, I'll appreciate Ragnarok more. So I think it's going to connect into that a lot more now. And I think the other thing it's going to do is set up this third volume of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is going to be the final Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And I think it's got a responsibility to kind of set that up as well. And I think Taika and the Guardians is a really good mix as well. See, that's the difference here is he's using the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm all for that. I think Taika's perfect to do something with the Guardians of the Galaxy. To me, that fits. Yeah. That fits a lot more than Thor. But again, I think he'll make something very cool out of this. I really do. I think he's got his I think he's got his sights set to the stars here with this one. I think he's gonna do a really amazing job. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm gonna go see it. Does it do better though Let me ask you this: does Thor: Love and Thunder do better than Doctor Strange in the box office? I mean, we're looking at 185 million
Box
opening, which
office.
is huge. Which one wins between the two?
I would say there's a good shot at it, and the reason I say that is I'm not one for box office numbers because I think they're fucking stupid, like I said with Avatar. But I think it has a better chance because if you look at like Doctor Strange, there's a lot of people that still don't know who the fuck Doctor Strange is. But he had an amazing trailer, great setup, and obviously just having, I think some of the side characters there did draw in a lot of Marvel fans that maybe aren't as hot on Doctor Strange. But Thor is such a big name.
Yeah,
And his trailer is just as good, I'd say, in a different way, of course. I mean,
sure.
obviously, you got the Raiminess versus the Taika Waititi-ness, but I think that Thor has a super hot teaser already that when it comes to dropping trailer time, if it comes out with as solid a trailers I think they're going to drop, I think it has a really good shot at beating it in advance tickets and just at the box office overall, potentially.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think that you make
and
a
I
lot
think
of
Ragnarok is up in the numbers too, right?
Well, I
think Ragnarok
I don't
did
know.
pretty good.
I don't think Ragnarok is one of their better outings in terms of box office. I mean, it did well, but
I mean, yeah, it's always going to fall behind like Black Panther and stuff like that. But I think like if you were to compare that and the first Doctor Strange, I think Thor movies are probably going to be hitting box office a little bit higher there.
But I think over time, people have put Ragnarok so high on their list in terms of their favorite Marvel movies that I think that this one, it's going to reflect on this movie a lot. And I think you're correct in that. As much as I love Doctor Strange, I think this one is going to win the box office between the two. Again, I'm with you. That doesn't affect the quality of the movie, but it is an interesting conversation to have in terms of like, because I think Doctor Strange will cross the billion. I still have that faith in this movie, even though I know it's going to be
not
a little
if I have
bit
anything
divisive.
to say about it. No, I'm just kidding. I've told everyone, go watch it, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't listen to me. Fuck me. Go watch it. It's worth it.
Yeah,
if you've enjoyed any of Sam Raimi's work, Evil Dead especially, go watch this, man. Go watch it.
I still think it'll cross the billion. I think Marvel's still got that clout going. I think that's one thing that they have is the niche that they are really working for. They're going to see these movies multiple times, and I think it's still going to cross that billion.
And shit, just coming off of No Way Home alone, I mean, anyone that I think enjoyed No Way Home will give this a shot, which will help it sales quite a bit too.
But if Strange doesn't cross the billion, I think Thor will. Like, I think, because I think Thor is your next big movie. Like, I think it's going to be the one that's,
and I think we'll see it in pre-sales in June. You know, I think as soon as the pre-sales come out, that's going to say a lot. Because I have a feeling, like I said, just once they drop the trailer for this and Thor being the name that it is, and this being what looks like to be his like final send off, not necessarily his last appearance, but his last movie here, I think the ticket sales are going to crash again big time for this.
There are two movies, and we'll talk about this, I guess, too. Two movies, and one we've already talked about that I think are definites to join the $1 billion club here. One of them is Jurassic World. No. One of them is Jurassic World Dominion. 100% it's Jurassic World Dominion is going to cross the billion.
That there's no way it doesn't.
Yeah, and the second movie, it's going to be Avatar 2. I know you have your opinions, but it will cross the $1 billion.
No, there's no doubt it will.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's going to set a record. It might even be Endgame.
The trailer is already the 11th highest viewed trailer of all time. Like that's.
I will say it may not beat Endgame just for the fact of. I think that the first one, obviously, what everyone loves and understands about Avatar is the world building and the graphics.
Might not beat Endgame. You're right on that. It might not.
It may not beat Endgame just for the simple fact of like I think Avatar, the first one, was such a mind-boggling, holy shit, no one's ever done this with graphics, that I don't think that this one could measure up to that. In terms of, I think it'll be just as good and even better than the first Avatar. But for like the time right now and what we could do with graphics, I don't think it'll like totally slaughter a lot of the movies out right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll beat Endgame for that reason.
Yeah, and it might not even knock out Force Awakens, but I think it'll come. Yeah. My prediction is it comes right under Force
It's coming
Awakens.
high though.
I think it comes right under Force Awakens.
It's coming into the top 5.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
It'll knock some titles out of that competition for sure.
It's going to drop it down.
Yeah, it's James Cameron. He just continues to do this where he makes a movie, nobody thinks it's going to be good, and then it turns out it's the biggest thing in the world when it comes out. It's his thing, man. It's wild. But I gotta say, man, I am looking forward to Avatar. I think the movie's gonna be great. I
Yep.
love the teaser. I think it's
I'll be
very.
watching it.
Yeah, I think it's a good teaser, man. Like
Yeah.
it didn't tell us a lot. It blue people. That's all we need to know. Blue people and cool effects, and that's enough.
Cool people.
That's enough for a lot of
That's
people. That's the thing. It's and then put the title Avatar on there. People have been waiting 14 years for this fucking thing.
Dude,
It's
I'm excited to just once more see the horse penis hair go into the blue man penis hair, and then they collide and their penises touch, and that's really interesting to
yeah.
watch. So, and kind of uncomfortable. So I can't wait just for that alone.
Oh man, I do think. Yeah, but that music too, like, just got me. Yeah, it gave me chills. It was good. It was a
Oh
good
yeah.
teaser. Good teaser. I'm excited. I think it'll crush. I think it'll crush. There's no denying.
Yeah, that's top 5, no doubt. Right next to DC League of Super Pets, man. It's got a spot right below it.
Well, one we got to talk about now, just recently entered 2022, is speaking of DC, Shazam 2.
Shazam, yep.
And how that's gonna do. I'm looking forward to it.
Drop.
It's one of my most anticipated, but I don't know how it's gonna do because the first movie didn't do all that great. I mean, it made profit, but other than that, it wasn't like this huge hit for them.
Yeah, box office wise, I don't think it'll hit. I mean, we got Black Adam in October too, so that's the thing. Like Black Adam, I think will have a better shot.
Yeah,
at hitting the box office for sure. I mean, just The Rock alone, seeing The Rock as a superhero, I think that's gonna hit like 10 times whatever Shazam will. But
yeah.
That being said, I'm just glad that we love Shazam here because, like I said, I've gotten a lot of shit for liking Shazam. So
The Rock's
I'm excited
clout,
for it
man.
nonetheless.
Rock's got the clout right now, dude. Yeah.
He's a bully in real life. But,
speaking of which, have you heard about the Fast 10 stuff going on, the drama? Yeah, you have. Okay. Yeah. See,
no, I haven't, but it's like a Fast franchise drama. No shit, Dom. Like, what's going on now, huh?
Justin Lin, they get a
Vin Diesel couldn't find a tank top that fits, and he had a temper tantrum. Like, what's the news now?
It's not too far off. You're not too far off.
Oh god.
So Justin Lin, and I feel really bad for Brie Larson because this is her first Fast movie.
Well, I don't, but
Justin Lin, the director, allegedly, well, no, not allegedly, did walk away from a $20 million paycheck because of Vin Diesel's behavior on set. So he walked away from this movie a week into shooting. And yeah, so that's not good. But apparently they're eyeballing the guy that did Incredible Hulk to do this. So that'll be interesting. So we'll see where that goes. That's what I hear. That's the report. But Vin Diesel's showing up. He's out of shape. He's
Incredible Hulk 2000, like
Edward Norton
or 2000.
Edward Norton.
Okay, Edward Norton. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Vin Diesel's showing up out of shape. From what I hear, he's showing up not knowing his lines. Yeah.
And having too many Coronas with the family, man. You know what it is?
He's giving Justin Lin notes like of what he wants this movie to do. Justin Lin's not agreeing, and Justin Lin, apparently it was a shouting match from what I hear. Like there was a shouting match in that writer's room at the last pitch meeting, and
I don't know what Justin Lin looks like, but I wouldn't want to get into a shouting match with Vin Diesel because pretty sure he'd beat the shit out of me.
I'm sure he could.
Fair enough.
He's out of shape apparently. That's the report. So maybe he wouldn't. Maybe you would want to get into a shouting match with an out of shape.
Shit, I don't know. Out of shape can probably still beat my ass.
I question that in my head. What does an out of shape Vin Diesel look like, as opposed to like if we're out of shape, that's one thing. What does
you only have a six pack now, bitch? Like,
yeah, exactly. You went from 12 to 6.
Compared to me, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still got a good choke. I could probably choke him out.
Yeah. I think I don't know. That thing sounds like a mess. I hope they get it together.
Anyway, so that we can get a great Fast 10 movie. Right?
I want a great Fast 10 movie.
Yeah. That's not fucking happening, buddy. That's
I probably not. But Fast 9 wasn't very good. So you're right.
Or 8, 7.
Yeah. There's other things coming out this year that I really want to see. There's Elvis movie.
I got a lot of them. I was gonna say Elvis. I mean, after seeing the edited music that they did there with Elvis's music and some of the one that really got me was the Gary Clark Jr. I talked about it last time. The Gary Clark, I think it's Gary Clark Jr. He did the Come Together for fucking DC. What is it? What's the DC movie? God damn it, where they all come together.
Justice League.
Jesus Christ, why couldn't I get that?
It's okay.
Because I'm thinking of Super Pets. Fuck me. All right. League of Super Pets. But yeah, Justice League, they had the rendition of Come Together, and he spliced that with a bunch of Elvis music, man, and that fucking hit pretty big. I'm a big music fan. I'm not a big fan of Elvis, so the fact that they're actually splicing them some heavy fucking rock music into this has me pretty stoked for it now.
It looks really good, man. I love Baz Luhrmann between Moulin Rouge and Great Gatsby. I really enjoy, and his Romeo and Juliet is really good.
Yeah, hell, last time I didn't even know there's controversy on The Great Gatsby because I fucking loved it so much. I just went in there and watched it. Loved it,
and I don't get
walked out, and you told me last show that people have issues with it.
I don't get the division.
Who the fuck wants to listen to them? Like,
no, I love that movie. I think Baz is really good, and I think his Elvis is gonna really crush here. I also got on this list here. Top Gun Maverick is coming in a few weeks, and I think we're all looking forward to that. That's a movie
through the danger zone.
That's another one with that potential, though, to join that $1 billion club.
It really does. Yeah, it could. I mean, when did the original Top Gun come out?
80s, man. So we're talking 30 plus years ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, box office hits weren't even hitting that high. People didn't have money back then, you know? They're eating ketchup sandwiches. That's
$1 billion is unheard of back then. Yeah,
yeah, right. But yeah, no, that's just for the caliber of movie that it was at the time. I mean, this beats like Red Dawn.
It's true.
And I don't think the remake will be as to the caliber of Red Dawn's remake. So
I don't think so either.
I think this will be a really heavy, crazy follow up. I think this is going to do pretty good at the box office.
Yeah, man. I mean,
shit, I just bought my ticket, so that's.
Tom Cruise and Dwayne Johnson might be the last two true living movie stars right now, in the terms of their names will draw a crowd. Like, just having their names in marketing can draw a crowd.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of those anymore.
Nicolas Cage.
Does he draw a crowd?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, he's the greatest living actor right now, without a doubt. But
that's fine. But he doesn't draw a crowd. I don't think the way that Dwayne Johnson and Tom Cruise do.
Yeah,
and I say that
trying to think of other names. I got nothing right now.
I say that fully knowing that about a couple months ago, Will Smith was also in that, conversation for the most part.
I probably wouldn't put Will Smith. I mean, he's high. He could draw a crowd for sure. But it's kind of like when you're talking about MMA, like Conor McGregor's up here and there's a big line. Like, I'd say Will Smith is pretty decently below the level of Tom Cruise and The Rock still.
Well, you look at like Aladdin, though. People hated that trailer. It still made a buttload of money, even though people hated the trailer. Then again, you get into a conversation. Is it the name Aladdin or is it the name Will Smith?
I was going to say, for that one, I'd say it's Aladdin, to be fair.
That's a good point. Yeah. So Tom Cruise and Dwayne Johnson, I think, are like the last two true living movie stars. They'll draw a crowd, which is why it adds to your argument for Black Adam a lot, though, because you're right. The name Dwayne Johnson for Black Adam, that's going to draw a crowd, like without.
I think you're right,
without a doubt.
I looked at my wall of actors behind me because obviously I got a bunch of Funko Pops, and I'm seeing the only one that I could think of that even measures up and isn't really in the conversation is Harrison Ford. So. Yeah.
Oh, Indy 5 will be huge when that comes next year. That'll be massive.
Yeah.
That'll hit the $1 billion club for sure. It's got to be absolute shit for it to not make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because that should make $1 billion in its sleep when that comes out.
Yeah. Indy 5. I don't know how you can fuck that up.
Forget it. Yeah. It's got to be really bad for that to not make money. So that is a good point. Yep. I think Harrison Ford could draw the crowd. You're right.
That's it.
Yeah, but you're right. But that's somebody, again, he's not as active as he was. I don't think that dog movie he did actually made a lot of money. So I don't even know if he does it anymore. Because that dog movie he did with the Call of the Wild or something didn't really make much.
But Tom Cruise has movies like that, you know.
Then again,
and that's like one movie, and I think that one also was a streaming deal. Where I think he got a lot of eyes on streaming for it.
That was kind of coming in, I think, right around the pandemic time. So, like, I
think it was one of those deals where it's like movie didn't do too well, but then they put it on streaming and actually killed it.
I remember hitting.
It was one of those 50-50 movies where it's like You catch it in theaters 1 week early, or you could just wait a week and go see it on
Fucking
streaming. So.
people at home though were like, didn't we just see this with Willem Dafoe on Disney Plus? Like, because he did that dog movie at the same time, and people like that Willem Dafoe one. And Harrison Ford, not much love for that. That unfortunately didn't get as much love. I still haven't watched it, and I own the fucking thing because it's Harrison Ford, and I still haven't watched it. But yeah, it might be good. Who knows? I think so we're looking at, we talked about Thor, we talked about Jurassic World, we talked about even a smaller movie, which was Don't Worry Darling. I think that's going to be really good. I don't know how much money it would make, but I think it'll be pretty good. So we got
is
all
a big
that.
money one.
What's that?
Lightyear's
something we have to talk about because Lightyear is going to be huge when that hits.
That's fast. I mean, that's June.
Huge.
That is just a little over a month away. Month and 5 days. So that is, I think that's going to be huge. I mean, as we heard from CinemaCon, everyone was huge fans, cried 4 or 5 times. So, and the animation on it just looks so good.
I just saw the new trailer in IMAX with Doctor Strange. It looks really stunning. I think that this movie is going to be awesome. I think, likewise, Chris Evans sounds like he's going to voice this guy really well. I think he's going to do a good job. Yeah, this is a massive one for Pixar. After totally doing the dumb thing with Turning Red and putting it on streaming, they decided to release this one in theaters. Thank God.
Yeah, shit.
Why the fuck they did that, I don't know, with Turning Red, because every Pixar movie makes money in the theaters. I don't know.
You think Turning Red was a big hit, though?
I think it would have been if they marketed it as such.
Okay.
Because you look at...
I got a lot of kids in my family, kids, my little sisters that are kids, nieces and nephews, and I've heard pretty mixed things on it in terms of not really worth watching.
But it's Pixar. They don't miss. They don't miss with the money. The money always
true, and money regards theaters releases. I mean, it
would have been a hit. Yeah,
they would have advertised it to hit, whether it was good or not. That's
one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen is them putting a Pixar movie on. It would have at least profited, if not the $1 billion club.
It would have at least made its money back.
Yeah, and so that was one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen Disney do. So you got that one, and so I think that's going to be definitely one of the movies to look forward to. Yeah, there was one I was looking at. There's no way it comes out this year. But the one I was looking at that I thought was interesting was initially supposed to come out this year, and there's no way it makes it. But if it does, by the hair on their chin, Django and Zorro. I just recently thought about this movie because I remember it was supposed to come out this year, and apparently it's still in pre-production. And that's, Jamie Foxx reprising the role as Django. I think that could be huge. Yeah.
Hold on. You're hitting the news guy up with some fucking news here. One of my favorite movies of all time, Django Unchained.
It's getting a sequel with Zorro.
Coming back with Zorro?
Correct. So
what the fuck? What
movies?
What?
Look, I don't know where it's at.
I don't trust your ass. I'm Googling this.
Pre-production, last I heard. And Tarantino has gotten...
When this and Beetlejuice 2 come out the same weekend, what the fuck am I going to do?
So Tarantino, he's apparently not going to direct this one, but he's partnering with Gerard Carmichael was the last thing I saw to write the script.
Holy shit, you're not fucking with me.
No, this is a real thing. That's supposed to be happening. Yeah.
I prank you a lot, so I'm not going to lie. I thought you may be fucking with me.
No, it sounds like a joke.
That's real.
I don't blame you because it sounds like a joke. It's not. Django and Zorro are teaming up in a movie, and I think that could be very interesting. And I always wondered if there'd be more, man, because of the way that... this is going to sound so strange, but A Million Ways to Die in the West had that post-credit scene with Django. I always wondered, are they going to do more? And here we are. Here we are. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I love Django. In terms of just style, Django is undoubtedly one of my favorite movies of all time. And I showed it to my girlfriend and she got it immediately. I told her, I was like, be ready for this. It's almost a very serious movie. It's a very funny movie at the same time. and it's got like Django is a goddamn like comic book hero in this, and you get it in the scenes with his music.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the scores in there, and everything he does is just, man, I'm thinking of him on the plantation where he finally finds the guy that was whipping him and he calls out his name. It's John or Big John, and it just fucking shows him standing there just like, phenomenal. Remember me?
Yeah.
Boom! Like the way you bleed, boy. Oh my god,
this
movie is going to be a major success.
I hope so. I hope it does well. I don't know how it's going to be without Tarantino directing the thing. I think that's going to be a big drawback for a lot of people. But we'll see, because Tarantino's a guy, he makes blockbusters just by his name being on it, you know, and that's going to be interesting to have one without his name on it. I don't know how it does, if it does as well. I do think that people are craving to see Jamie Foxx back in the role, though. I think there's a lot going on there, so that will just do well for it.
Well, Django is one that I think whoever is directing it is going to have to be respectful to the style it was filmed in. Like, I don't think you could do a different style. I think any director that's going to pick up the job would be smart enough to know, like, obviously go with your own style in terms of what you're going for here, but it has to be close to the first Django here. You can't totally turn it at 180. And
we were just talking about it, though, with Tarantino. He's so individualistic, I guess, in the sense he's like Kubrick. Like, their styles are unmatched. You can't copy it. It's just you need them, and that makes me nervous about the movie. If it actually happens this year, it's still scheduled for this year. I don't know how with the still being in the pre-production, but that's a possibility. So it's something to maybe look forward to. We'll see we'll see what it does. I mean, it could be
Tom, you just made my day.
Well, yeah. Look, it could be amazing. Could suck. We'll see.
Good. I don't think they could fuck that up, though. That's like Star Wars. I mean, you'd have to be a complete fucking idiot to fuck that up. You know what I mean? Just such a perfect goddamn movie and universe. How would you fuck that up?
Yeah, exactly. We'll see we'll see what happens. Look, you know, the other thing that is coming out here, I think a lot of people are looking forward to is Knives Out 2. Speaking of Star Wars, Knives Out 2 is going to, I think, do... we'll see. It's getting theatrical before Netflix. I don't know how it's going to do, since it is going to Netflix shortly after it's theatrical, as apparently Rian Johnson's deal was that. But,
I think that always hurts it pretty big.
Yeah. But Rian Johnson's sitting pretty either way.
Yeah.
Because he took, like, what did Netflix pay? I think like $468 million for Knives Out 2 and 3. So him and his team are doing really well.
They're set. That's...
So
I got nothing to worry about.
I love the first Knives Out. This has definitely got to go on my most anticipated. I don't care. I'm gonna go to the theater to watch this one. There's no way. It's Ryan made such a good movie with Knives Out.
Do you know when it's set to release?
December, I believe.
Okay,
so Netflix put out they had this. It was a really good teaser of all their upcoming releases, and they saved Knives Out for last as their big December release type thing.
Okay,
so
nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Daniel Craig, though, we're talking a great cast here, though. We got Daniel Craig and Leslie Odom Jr., who's coming in hot off of Hamilton, and what's the other one he did that I loved? One Night in Miami. Did you watch that movie?
No, I didn't.
So good. You got to watch One Night in Miami. It's on Prime. It's a Prime original, so you should check it out. It's got that's a good movie, man. That's got so it's directed by Regina King from Watchmen, but it's Muhammad Ali and oh gosh, who are the other people in that? It's Muhammad Ali. Why am I blanking on it though? So Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. I think it was based on something Malcolm X said though. He was like, I spent a night in a hotel with Muhammad Ali, and it was Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, he's Malcolm X, and Leslie Odom Jr. plays Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke is the singer. And he spent a night in a hotel with these guys. And the movie is based on what they felt like that night would have been with these guys in the hotel room. So it all takes place in this one hotel room for the most part. It's really interesting.
Hangover Part 4, gotcha.
It's a good
That's-
movie. It's nothing like Hangover. It's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I
It's
know.
great. Fucking the performances are outstanding. And when you hear
Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Leslie Odom do Sam Cooke at the end, it really makes it like at the end when he sings as Sam Cooke, it's like, oh my god, that guy's got a voice of an angel. Made the movie for me. Anyway, so may not be for everybody. So Leslie Odom Jr. and I forget the entire cast in that movie. Would you be a doll? Look up the cast of Knives Out 2 for me really
I
quick.
got you, man.
Yeah, because I don't remember. It's a lot of really great people in that movie though. That Edward Norton is another one's gonna be in Knives Out 2.
Edward Norton, Ethan Hawke,
Ethan
himself,
Hawke, right? Yep.
Jessica Henwick,
Yep.
Kate Hudson,
Yep.
Catherine Hahn. That's
right.
Yeah, stuck in my head. Oh shit. Well. If it isn't the bald motherfucker herself, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yep, she's gonna be in it. Yeah.
Dave Bautista's in it.
That's right.
Yeah, you got Leslie Odom Jr., Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, this one was hidden from me by my mic. Madeline Klein.
Yes. So, really looking forward to that ensemble coming together. I think they're gonna make magic in that movie. That's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
that's a great put together cast there.
It really is. It's a lot of heavy hitters in that.
The second Dave Bautista says something wrong, Will Smith's gonna go up there and try to smack him, and that's gonna be hilarious to watch. That'll be fucking excellent.
Edward Norton, man, that's an amazing get if you ask me for that.
Edward Norton and Ethan Hawke. Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's a really good get there.
I hope I get to see them in the same room together. That's interesting.
You absolutely will. If it plays anything like the first movie, you absolutely will.
Yeah.
I want Daniel Craig to come back with a different accent and not explain it at all. That's what I want to happen in this movie, because it'd be so in line with his character.
Yeah.
He's just somebody completely different, never explains it. That's what I want from this movie. Knives Out 2 is definitely on my most anticipated. I think this movie's going to
that's excellent. I didn't even know that was hitting in December.
Yeah, December's going to be, it's like Netflix's last release of the year. So,
yeah,
it's going to be
and an earlier one here that I also forgot about in July that's still confusing to me, but I'm excited for nonetheless is, well, you know what? I don't know if I'm excited for this or not. Every time I watch it, I go back for them. Am I excited about this or not? Nope.
Yes, July. Jordan Peele's Nope. I am highly anticipated. Yeah.
I don't like ugly things for the sake of ugly things, which is every time I look at this, I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's scenes that make my skin crawl, and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what'll make me love it. I always see the lady's face that's all fucked up when she looks at the sky. That makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In the trailer where you could see the like little person just behind the little wall there, that shit makes me really uncomfortable. But that's why I think it's going to be a great horror movie.
Yeah.
It's like that shit fucks with my head, and I don't like it, but I can't not look at it.
I love Get Out and Us. I love them both. I think they're both great movies, and I think that this will be a good follow up. But Jordan Peele has done astounding things with his career. He's starting in comedy and then moving into making these awesome horror movies, at least in my opinion.
He has to stop making horror movies, get back to comedy. Not that he's bad at horror movies, just goddamn it, I miss fucking his comedy so much. He's excellent, dude.
Yeah. Another one I think that comes out this year as well, I'm really looking forward to, is speaking of people who became overnight sensations and making horror films, is Ari Aster. We know nothing about his new movie except that it stars Joaquin Phoenix, and that's Disappointments Avenue. I think that's going to be really interesting. I'm on board for anything Ari Aster does, and I'm on board for about anything Joaquin does. So I think that
I was going to say that's a pretty good combo for me. That
pairing is going to be great. So both of them working together again. I loved Hereditary. I loved Midsommar. I think both of those movies were great, as divisive as they may have been. They really work for me. So I think he's a real genius in horror. Hereditary scared the shit out of me, and I don't get scared a lot in horror movies. But Hereditary scared the living shit out of me. Got under my skin in ways I did not like, but I love the movie for it. So there's that. And one more that we got to talk about that's going to be rough is November. We have Black Panther 2 coming out in November. So that's going to be an interesting yet rough movie to watch, I think. And
I just saw Chadwick Boseman the other day in that James Brown movie, man.
Get
I
on
don't,
up. Yeah.
I don't think I can do it. I don't
Yeah.
think I can go watch it, man. It's
Ooh.
gonna hurt. It's gonna
Yeah.
hurt just knowing that Chadwick isn't there, man.
Oof. Yeah, it's gonna
I
be a
keep
rough one.
seeing him and it hurts my soul every time. Like the
Yeah.
other day, I just like I put on a movie and I watch movies at like 3 a.m. because I'm a psychopath, and I wake up and all of a sudden 42 is on, and I'm like, oh son of a bitch.
Yeah. But Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, it's gonna make tons of money when it comes out. That's
Yeah,
for damn
that.
sure.
Oh my god.
And
Jesus.
I mean,
That might beat Avatar.
It could. It could. That's the fact of it, is it really could, based on the circumstances. And
am I right in saying I think I saw someone saying to take over Black Panther? Is it I'm probably gonna fuck up his name, the guy who plays like M'Baku? The guy
we
that's
still
like
just don't know. I think that's the thing.
No, I think we at least know that he's gonna play a huge role though.
But I would like that.
From everything we've seen.
I would like that. I think it makes
I
more sense
really
than-
like his character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at first he's kind of built up to almost be like an asshole, but you understand why. And I mean, he's very honorable, to say the least. I mean, he's an honorable man. So
I think
I really love the actor behind it too. He's fucking excellent.
I think that makes more sense than Suri taking it, like a lot of people want.
She's just her own character.
It doesn't
I
work.
love her. And for me, I don't think it works because I love her so much at what she's doing. Stay there.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with it. Don't be Black Panther. You're your own shit, dude. Her action, coming in with those fucking hand blasters, dude. That's what I want to fucking see. Yeah. She doesn't need the Black Panther suit.
Yeah, there's no evidence to me of her even taking that mantle in the storyline either. Like when I really start to think about it, there's nothing. I mean, I could see like M'Baku or Io taking it, but like her, I don't really see. I mean, Io would be a good pick just based on her role in Falcon Winter Soldier. That might have been trying to lead to that or set that up maybe a little bit. But those are the only two I could really see right now. But we'll see, man. I think it's going to be a very emotional.
Could be a new cast, man. Shit.
Yeah, I think the whole movie needs to act as a tribute to Chadwick, and I think that's what it's going to be. And Coogler coming back to direct is, I think, what has me most excited about it. I think he's going to just knock that thing out of the park, and it's going to be a really amazing movie. Could end up being my favorite Marvel movie of the year, based on my feelings on the first Black Panther being in my top 3, of all of them. And I think that Isaac Coogler's one of those filmmakers. He's one of the few they have on this next level.
With everything, Michael B. Jordan is just
it's so good.
It sucks so bad that he can't be Black Panther because like he's, to me, in that movie, he's Count Dooku.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. You like him because he's not wrong.
I'm with you.
He's going about it the wrong way, but he's not wrong. And just, god damn it, Michael B. Jordan is just arguably, I'd say, one of the best action actors that we fucking have right now. He's just been kicking ass.
He's so good. That's another one we got to talk about, though, man. You talk Michael B. Jordan. His directorial debut is coming up.
Oh, shit.
In Creed 3. So,
he's directing it?
Yes, he is.
Shit, well,
see what happens.
Attached to the part, I'm down for it.
Yeah. I think that's.
He's so attached to the role that's one of those things where I'm like, shit, go ahead, man. I'm all for it. Good luck to you, brother. I'll be there to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody thought Stephen Caple Jr. would do anything good with Creed 2. And I don't think he matched what Coogler did with the first Creed, but Creed 2 is awesome.
Do you love the Rocky movies, by the way? That's like a classic that I've never asked you about. Like, how do you feel about the Rocky movies?
Of course I love Rocky. Yeah.
I can't watch Rocky. It gets dangerous.
I love Rocky, the first
My girlfriend's
movie.
name is Adriana. I start yelling, "Hey, Adrian!" I start, boxing the dog. It's not good.
So the first Rocky movie, I'll give you my opinions on them. First Rocky movie is my second favorite Rocky movie. Rocky 2 is my fourth favorite Rocky movie. Rocky 3 is my fifth favorite Rocky movie. Okay. Rocky 4 is my sixth favorite Rocky movie. I know I'm in the minority.
Oh, fuck you!
I know I'm in the minority.
Fuck you.
It's my sixth. I know. I'm not huge on it. I want to see the Stallone cut. I'm very interested in that.
I really love Stallone. That's the thing, is I like Stallone's performance in a lot of those movies. I think 4, I think he had probably the best performance.
Maybe performance wise, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to really think about. Well,
no. You know what? At the beginning of 5, though, he acts really good.
Yeah.
His acting in the scene that immediately follows the fight number 4, where he's shaking and stuff, that he was fucking scary in that scene with his acting. I mean, that was like from somebody who's been punched in the head too many times and has started randomly shaking when they probably shouldn't have. His acting in that scene where he's in the shower and he's cold and he like is calling Adrian Mick. That's fucking. That's scary.
Yeah,
that's scary to me.
But the 5th movie is my least favorite of all the Rockies. Okay. Rocky 6 or Rocky Balboa is my 3rd favorite of all of them.
What's your first?
My first favorite's Creed. Creed is.
Okay. If you're including that in it, then that's fair. Yeah.
Well, actually, if
I was
counting, I gotta rank Creed 2. I gotta rank Creed 2. Then I forgot.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit lower.
Oh man, where would I put Creed 2? It's above 3 and 4, but not above 2 and 1. So Creed 2 is above Rocky's 3 and 4, but not above 2 and 1. So I would say.
Damn, that's so funny. That's like I'm so opposite on that. And I mean, I love Rocky. I can't stress how much I love Rocky.
I do too,
like,
man.
I'd say 4 is likely my favorite, and 3,
a lot of people say that though. Yeah, it's I get it. It's a 4 is a really good rewatchable movie. Like I'm not trying
for me, the score kills it, the story kills it. They killed Apollo Creed, my childhood hero, so fuck them. But the acting kills it, and in the end, I like the polarization of the Russia versus America. But then when it comes down to it in the moment of victory, instead of relishing like most assholes do, like Floyd Mayweather, for instance, he gets down to he's a man, I'm a man, and we both came in here and fight. Like, give it up for us, respect. We could all change and be better in our lives. I thought that was a killer speech. So that's unbeatable. But as a very close second, I'd put the 3rd, and then I'd put the 1st, the original Rocky, and then I'd say probably Rocky 5 and then Rocky 2. But if I gotta slide Creed in there, I'd put Creed right behind I'd put Creed above the original Rocky, I'd say. I like the original Rocky a lot, but I think I'd put Creed above it. The first Creed movie,
agree, man.
I think I'd go 4, 3, and then Creed.
I love the rawness of the original Rocky. It has the rawness that I don't think any of the films ever hit since, and I never thought it could. And then Creed comes out and just like, oh man.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If in terms of the rawness of it, I'd put even Creed above the first Rocky. I mean, that was a fucking raw.
That's why it's my favorite. My favorite is Creed. Yeah.
Which reminds me, another must-watch for the crowd. Anyone that's watching. Southpaw is such a fucking underrated movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Thank you.
His acting in that is, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is always going to be fucking amazing, but Jake Gyllenhaal in Southpaw has such emotional depth and range. It's fucking crazy. Please go see it.
Southpaw's
such a great movie.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
There's not a lot of good fighting movies out there when you actually look at them. And as someone who loves fighting is my life, fighting is in my DNA, some may even say. Just there's not a lot of good movies out there, and especially nowadays, most of them suck. Southpaw is like such fucking
it's gold, amazing. Dude. I love
it's Southpaw. Just gold. You can't get better. I mean, the only one I could think of, like other than the Rocky franchise, that's been good in recent memory is like if you go back to like The Warrior, which is an MMA movie that's really great with Tom Hardy in it, actually.
Yeah.
And that one's fucking great. It's got Tom Hardy and then 2 actors I can't think of the name of that's super fucking underrated. And what's that one with Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg? Fighter. Really yeah, The Fighter. That's another one that's just fucking outstanding.
Oh, David O. Russell's new movie comes out too this year. It's what's it called? Amsterdam, I think is what it's called. It's a Disney movie, interestingly enough, but after The Fighter and Hustle, American Hustle and all that, I can't believe Disney's working with the guy, but hey, I'm looking forward to it. He hasn't been out there for a while making movies, so I love him. And Silver Linings Playbook and all that. Yeah. So
I love that one.
Yeah. O. Russell's new movie comes out this year, and I'm looking forward to it. It's actually got a really good like ensemble cast, I guess. So I'm looking forward to it either way. They got footage at CinemaCon, and everybody's saying it looks great. So I'm interested. Yeah.
I'm in for it. Will that be a theater release, you think?
Yes, it will be. Yeah,
was gonna say,
I'm pretty
Disney's gonna
sure. It could be a straight to Disney Plus, but I'm pretty sure Russell will put in the theater. I would think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, he makes movies
so.
very cinematic and stuff. The other one that I am thinking about though comes out in a week. We got 2 Stephen King adaptations coming up here. One in not a week, tomorrow or today when people watch this. Firestarter comes out on Peacock and theaters, I believe. So I'm interested. I think it looks good. I hope it's good. So yeah, looking forward to Firestarter for sure. The other one that is worth noting here though is Salem's Lot. Now Salem's Lot, the original, it's the scariest vampire movie I've ever seen. So I'm looking forward to this new one. I hear it's from CinemaCon that this new trailer was terrifying. So looking forward to Salem's Lot.
I need to give vampire movies a shot here. You know, I'm pretty new to horror,
Yeah.
obviously, and I'm loving it. But that's definitely, which by the way, I saw the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I haven't watched it. I heard shit.
It's funny because it's pretty shit. It does some things that I enjoy, and I wish the new horror movies would do, like acknowledging the day and age is a big one. Like I will say, there's one scene where obviously you've seen it if you've seen the trailer. He steps onto the bus and everyone starts recording him.
Oh yeah.
That's some dumb shit that people would do today, and that's. I just hope that new movies, if you're gonna start making mistakes of like the classic people are gonna make shitty mistakes, like at least make it relevant to the day and age. I mean, that is some stupid shit that people would do.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate at least that the movie had of one of the horror sins that I hate so far in the franchise is the whole like, I could kill you right now, but I'm going to give a speech for 5 minutes and then I'm going to kill. Oh, what the fuck? You attacked me in that time frame. Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah.
And the whole movie didn't really do that. There was one scene where they did it and I was like, what the fuck? But for the whole movie, one of the things that always crawls in my head that was good was like, every situation that you see people in is really like a fuck, man. If I was in that situation, I'm doing exactly what they're doing. I'm going to sit there and shut the fuck up. There was no escape from that situation. So I appreciate that from it. But yeah, overall, it was pretty mediocre. It's worth watching if you've seen the other ones. But yeah, I've seen a lot of great werewolf movies, of course. American Werewolf in London is an absolute classic. I loved that I watched it as a kid and was able to get through it, and I love it now. I love going to Universal. They show you how the pneumatics work, which is fucking dope. But yeah, vampires, I've really lucked out on that. So I'll have to give it a shot because everything I've has sucked so far.
Get yourself 3 hours and put on the original Salem's Lot. It's 3 hour thing.
Oh, shit, man. I got to rewatch Once Upon a Time in, or what? Not Once Upon a Time, the America movie. Once Upon a Time in America? Is that it? The 3 hour, 49-minute Robert De Niro movie? What am I thinking?
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's
Once Upon a Time in America? Yeah, it's 3 fucking hours and 49 minutes.
It's
I'm like,
long
shit.
movie.
Now, I got to watch that in the next 2 weeks here. So I'll maybe push it to the end of the month there when it's getting more into the horror time.
Yeah, Salem's Lot. It's a good fall time movie. It's wonderful. I think you'll like that one a lot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I think that so Firestarter I'm looking forward to. I'm a fan of the original. I do own it on Blu-ray, so I'm
not a big fan of that. But I haven't seen the original, so to be fair, maybe I'll go watch the original and feel differently. But off of seeing the trailer, seeing Zac Efron, he could probably go fuck himself. So.
I'm a fan, man. I think Zac
Efron probably a great person. I liked him at Baywatch, but just I don't know. The trailer wasn't very compelling for me.
Baywatch I did not like. No? But I think he's talented.
I thought it was a funny movie.
I didn't like it. Jose,
I thought it was.
Love it. Yeah.
To be fair, that's another movie. It's so fucking stupid. I love it.
It's terrible.
I don't think that it's a great movie or good representation of the original Baywatch by any means. I was watching it like, what the fuck?
I don't think the original Baywatch.
Why did they let The Rock get this much control over the movie?
I don't think the original Baywatch is a good representation of the original Baywatch. I think that show sucks.
Oh,
God, I think everything about that sucks. But anyway, look, that's me.
Disrespect David Hasselhoff.
Sorry, but I'm a Hasselhoff guy for the wrong reasons, probably. But I do like the guy. Look, it's time to talk about Moon Knight. We talked about all these 2022 movies.
Every day I wake up.
Let's talk about this finale in spoiler-heavy detail. So you've been warned.
If you haven't watched by now, you suck.
All right, so this is where I stand with it. I loved most of it. I thought it was a really good. I was satisfied with the ending of it. Like I really was.
That's awesome.
When it comes to Marvel finales, I thought this was the most satisfactory in terms of where it left me, for the most part. Because
I agree with that.
in terms of just I mean, it didn't really stay. It never was inconsistent with what the rest of the show was, and it wrapped it up. It utilized this runtime fairly well, and it wasn't actually that long a finale overall. I think it was only like 45 minutes. So, and there's been longer episodes of Moon Knight. So, thought it utilized the runtime very well. I thought Oscar Isaac continues to shine in this. I thought a lot of the action and visuals within that were phenomenal compared to a lot of the other Marvel television shows. But there were also things I thought were very stupid, and I'll talk about the stupid parts of it. But I'm like at a 85% with this thing, I would say.
Okay.
There were just a couple
the whole
things.
show or the finale?
No, the finale. I haven't really decided on the show, but the finale, I would say I'm about 80 to 85, somewhere in there.
That's about where I'm.
Yeah. So Layla's whole thing, while I didn't mind the action that she had in it, but her whole thing was abrupt and dumb. It didn't really work for me. It felt the way, and I understand this is stuff they've been talking about and setting up throughout the entire show. I get that. I just thought the way they played it was abrupt and it felt kind of stupid. It didn't really work. And I like Layla as a character a lot.
It felt really forced.
Yeah. So,
I like her as a character. I'm happy to see her as a hero, but I just felt it was very rushed in the finale.
Loved her a lot throughout the series, but yes, I thought that was abrupt, dumb. You're right. In that sense, it felt a little rushed. And that kind of brings me to my other point about it. I didn't love the rushing in the beginning either, because while I don't mind them starting where they started off, ultimately, I thought it was they were kind of rushing through it a little bit there. But so once you can accept everything in that first quarter of it or whatnot, once you've accepted that, you can move on to the action, and I think the action delivers. I think it's a lot of fun, and I actually really liked where everything ended off. Now, I thought the Jake Lockley reveal was mind-blowing the way it was done. I thought it really made the finale really worth it, and it shows you that while we're not doing a season 2, we have definite future plans with this character. He's coming back.
We can do something with it here. Yep.
Yeah, man, but where do you stand with it?
So obviously, as I always preface this, as a child, Moon Knight is my absolute favorite. He still is now. The show overall, I'd give like as close to 100 without giving it 100 as I can. I mean, I think this is the most solid all the way throughout, from episode 1 to the last episode. I'll say I rewatched the first episode. You know, the first episode when we talked about it, I didn't think it was like the greatest thing ever, but you know, I watch more TV shows than Dom, so I know that the first episode of any series is just supposed to pique your interest. It's not supposed to be the most captivating. I went back and rewatched it. The first episode of Moon Knight really captures your interest and sets the stage so much for the rest of the season.
I did say I thought it played better the second time I watched the pilot. Like I thought it worked.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember hearing that. So that's great. I rewatched it.
I told Jose. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I probably wasn't here, but yeah, rewatching it, I mean, I really reappreciate the early of the season.
Me too.
And yeah, the way that this one played, the visuals, I didn't think making Amit and Khonshu that big was gonna roll out well. I kind of enjoyed the like mind-bending fuckery of just watching Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac and Layla have the showdown down on the floor and seeing the 100-foot alligator Khonshu fighting in the background and her beating him with his own staff. That's something that I thought wouldn't come across right. And it's funny because on my TV here, I don't have a special TV, but I just think it was the way that they did it. And visuals, they really pulled off like I felt it was going on, like right there, but still in the background, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they capture the 100-foot
I agree with you.
Monster better than King Kong or Godzilla does at that.
I agree.
Aspect.
I mean, that played really nicely.
That was excellent.
You're right.
And that's something that I thought it was stupid the first second I saw it. I was like, this is gonna fuck up this episode.
They've done a
and as it went, I liked it.
Good job with that. Really quick, I wanted to add to that point because they've done a really great job throughout this entire series of having the forefront action, but also the background action going on, and you actually don't get lost in it at all. Like
Yeah.
you can constantly follow everything that's going on, and that's not easy to do. Like when you have a lot going on in one action sequence, like even in Infinity War, I love the movie, but like I find like with the big scale action battle, it's easy to get lost in what everything is, in everything
Yeah.
happening in the background. Like you're not honing in on that so much, but there's parts where like you'll have Mark or Steven up front, and then Layla's kicking ass in the back, and you
Yes.
can follow both things going on and really appreciate that. That's something I want to point out. You're
And
right.
I couldn't agree more. And now that you say that, it also reminds me that a huge aspect that I loved of it that was pretty reminiscent for me of, I went back into the rewatch of Civil War recently, of which I
Mm.
actually enjoyed the movie way more than I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly for the action and
You're right.
the Layla and the Mark Spector and Steven constantly fighting Amit and coming in one at a time kind of reminded me of the good old Bucky Captain America like action sequence that they had.
Yeah,
And it was really well put together, I thought, of them both trying to
you're
fight
right.
Amit. I really like how Mr. Knight and Moon Knight kind of find their flow in the fighting for once. Because that's one thing I've always waiting to see is instead of them fighting each other, letting it flow. And I think I really love the action sequences where all of a sudden Moon Knight got beat and Mr. Knight's coming in and smacking your
It
fucking
works.
face.
Yeah,
And I thought that worked. I mean, that was, I can't praise that enough. I think in the action sequence, that worked out crazy well. As much as I didn't like the rush of Layla being come in, I mean, her in the action sequences was pretty awesome up until
yeah.
she gets down on the car there. She was pretty epic in the action sequences. And yeah, I mean, the action was great. And with the conclusion of it, the Jake Lockley reveal
It was
just
awesome.
fucking blew my mind. It was so
I think
awesome. And
that is one of the best
I,
post-credit scenes I've ever seen in a Marvel anything. So
oh yeah,
yeah,
that
I'll
was
grant it that.
fucking dope. And I mean, I also just love the gangsterness of fucking Khonshu pulling up in the back of the limo like that. That
Yeah,
was awesome. And then just Jake Lockley just whacking without
yeah,
hesitation.
you're right. Exactly. That was
The
great.
and it was darker than I thought when I think about it. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
he just straight up rolled up and beat the shit out of Arthur Howard, just shot him dead right there.
yeah,
No games, no question. And it also
yeah,
speaks to who he is as a third personality that we see when the two of them are fighting. Jake Lockley just straight wipes some motherfuckers.
yeah,
It's like I can't wait to see that come to fruition in
yeah.
whatever movie they do. Whether I mean, one of the things I talked about before was I would be really disappointed in how great the show is, how great Oscar Isaac is in the MCU, that they didn't do anything if they didn't do anything more,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy now because Oscar Isaac I don't think got his due diligence in X-Men. Obviously he didn't get it in the Star Wars even, and I think this is finally what Oscar Isaac deserves, to be able to come into this franchise as Moon Knight and kick some fucking ass. So I hope he gets great appearances in these new movies, and I hope one day in the near future it makes sense to do his very own movie because he's fucking well earned it in the
100%.
show here.
100%. I don't disagree with any of that. And let me say this as well, because you and I, the week prior, were on kind of two different ends of the spectrum in terms of where we thought this could go, where we wanted it to
Yeah.
go. And this was actually done in a way I think that satisfied the both of us. So a couple things,
Yeah.
a couple different positives here for me that are major. And one of them actually ties into Doctor Strange. I don't know if he caught it as well as I did. And it even makes me even more satisfied with it. A lot of the reason why is because of where I thought it and almost kind of wanted it to go to a degree. Now, the fact is number one, we started the show with Steven, and I did not want them to just leave Steven at the wayside after episode 5. And so him going back for him, and then not only that, being able to see Steven hold his own was such a huge moment in this episode. I loved that they gave him his due because he's likable from the very beginning. So I
Yes.
really enjoyed that about this episode. Found that to be massively satisfactory. And again, I think this is going to be one of those shows. I think when I go back and rewatch it in the binge, it's going to work so much better for me.
Oh yeah,
excuse
I'm
me.
excited for that. I think I'll do that right before Stranger Things just to get in the
Sure.
binge mood.
Absolutely.
I haven't binged in a minute, so I need to
Yeah.
go binge something like a little bit, not too
Me
close,
either.
but a little bit beforehand to get into it. I think I'll just go to Moon Knight and Book of Boba Fett.
We're
and
so
just-
conditioned to this week to week thing now, because of
Yeah.
these shows. But the other thing that I love, and this is interesting to me, and you can tell me your take on it, is
Sure.
when at the end of it, when Mark wakes up or Steven or whatever wakes up and he locked in the things again, before that, we're seeing another
Like,
sequence of him back in the mental hospital, seemingly as a dream this time around. So when I look at Doctor Strange, which establishes in this universe dreams are a different reality, is there a reality where Steven is locked up and Arthur is the doctor? That's a reality to me.
Shit.
Now that I think about that.
And well, in that reality, is it even him in the loony bin?
Exactly. Who knows?
Maybe in that universe he's just really getting fucked with Arthur.
Maybe that's a good point.
Maybe he just has him pinned down in that universe, but he's just fucking stuck. That's crazy though. I never thought about that.
I just don't think putting that dream sequence in there was a coincidence, seeing as Strange was coming out a week later.
I don't think so either.
To, explain about that. So I do think that there is a reality where maybe he is just a nutcase. Maybe Arthur's a doctor, or to your theory, maybe he's just getting fucked with even more over there. But that I don't think that's a coincidence at all that they decided.
I think that's I think that's planned out, and it's Moon Knight. I mean, it just gives me so much confidence in Marvel again. I mean, again, they've been hitting so 50-50 for me. Doctor Strange was disappointing for me in some ways, and in many ways still very awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, with Moon Knight, it kind of reconfirms, like, because every day I think about when we watch these movies and shows, one day they're gonna have to do X-Men.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to piss me the fuck off, because they're probably, like, I'm just saying, the original X-Men had its ups and downs, but as its ups, it was so unridiculously fucking good.
That's true.
I don't know how they're going to top it. And each day I just get scared. Are they going to pull a fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or are they going to pull a fucking Moon Knight?
That's a good point.
My heart and soul is a lot more in X-Men than people probably more than you've ever realized. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but
I love X-Men as well. I love
X-Men is everything to me. When I showed Adriana X-Men, she loves that more than MCU now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
X-Men and X-Men 2.
Young Magneto's so good.
X-Men and X-Men 2 are two of the greatest comic book movies I've ever seen. So you got that going for it. And I love Days of Future Past, and I didn't even think Apocalypse was as bad as people said, but
I don't think so. You know what? I think Last Stand isn't as bad as people say.
I don't really like Last Stand. I'll be honest.
You don't need to like it, but I don't think it's as bad as people say.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It was okay.
Throwing it out there. Right. That's fair. No, it's fair.
Better than Apocalypse, I'd say. But
that's fair. Hey, man, that's a good opinion.
Apocalypse, I'd say, had some killer scenes, and that's one of the things that scares me about X-Men is the casting of young Magneto in that later timeline is so
Fassbender
fucking good. That's what scares me, is whoever they cast cannot be as good if they're not going to recast him.
We'll see.
That's rough, man.
We'll see. They've been playing with that multiverse shenanigans, so we'll see what happens. But
I think they just want to piss me off.
Yeah,
that's what I think. We'll Quicksilver, Mr. fucking Boner, and fucking snapping Xavier's neck. I think they're just assholes.
They're messing with us.
They're bullies, bro.
They're messing with us. But for sure, I think that we're not done with that reality of him being in that mental hospital. I think there's something going on there. So again, multiverse shenanigans. Revisited. Yeah, multiverse shenanigans going on there for sure. Even though for the most part it was played as sort of an afterlife for him here, I think that there are definitely some multiverse shenanigans happening in the show as well. I think it's just been kind of happening everywhere. But satisfied. Thought this was good as a series now. It's my favorite one they've done of all the shows. I'm not going to lie about that. Where would I rank it in terms of, like, if I had to rank like the shows with the movies now? I don't know. But
that's a real one.
It's pretty damn good.
I'd say I'd put it at the top.
Really?
Not saying like top 3 even, but I'm just saying it's above the 50% mark for me for sure.
Yeah, I would have to say the same. I do like the different.
I mean, I think it's better than Civil War, even Ragnarok, and I enjoyed Ragnarok. So I mean,
shit. I think time will tell. I think
maybe below Iron Man 3 doesn't get its due diligence, man. Iron Man 3 is pretty fucking dope. I don't know. Oh, fuck you, Dom. No one trusts you anymore. That's.
Hey, look, last time I watched Iron Man 3, I think it
back to his roots, man. Back to his roots.
I think there's 50% of that movie I really love, and there's 50% of it I don't. So that's where I'm at with Iron
Man. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I think there's definitely parts I don't love, but I think it's more of a 80-20 for me.
Yeah.
That's I mean, just even just alone, just seeing such a super powerful person have to be reduced to the tools at hand is just always something that's going to kill it for me.
Yeah.
So to be fair, that makes me extremely biased in the situation, because that's what I love about Thor. He's stripped of everything.
That's another one of those things though. Like,
gotta make do.
It's a lot like Ragnarok for me, I guess. Iron Man 3, because again, Shane Black, one of my favorite filmmakers. I mean, I would say like, his Predator movie was horrible, but it's not. It's a lot worse than Iron Man 3. But Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang are two amazing movies to me. Like, I would watch them. Have you seen Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling, by the way?
No.
That's
my assistant manager. I've been telling him I've been super into thrillers and stuff lately. I've been disappointed by all these movies and whatnot, and he's like, well, you know what, I just watched The Nice Guys the other day, and I think you should give it a shot, because I know you hate Ryan Gosling, and I think that'll make you like
Nice Guys.
He's showing me, and it's Russell Crowe too, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's phenomenal.
Russell Crowe can do no wrong in my book. That's on my list for sure. And if that's on streaming, I might even just push that up to tonight.
That movie's almost perfect. Like, that's Shane Black's best movie. It's almost perfect. You love that one, I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, if it's on anything streaming, I'll move that up to tonight for sure.
I love The Nice Guys so much. That movie's phenomenal. Anyway, look, that's gonna be it for today. We've been going for a couple hours here, so we're gonna get going. But Dave, before we take off here, where can people find you?
All right, guys, here is my exact address. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can find me at Snapchat, at Instagram, as they call it. I almost fucked that up. At Instagram, at Snapchat, and at Stereo, at BKingDavid. That's BKING David. Me and Jose will be talking hopefully this upcoming Wednesday, because I don't think his phone is broke. So be sure to tune in for that, guys.
All right, guys, and you can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram Dom_Martino_ official. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications, and follow the Anorex pages on Twitter and Instagram, as well at Anorex Official. We're going to get out of here on that note, and I want to thank everybody for joining once again, and we'll talk to you guys later.